Oh, good afternoon and welcome. This is the Ludwigspark Stadion in Saarbrücken. The rain is teeming down here. It has been all morning. There's been a pitch inspection from referee Dr. Arne Arnick earlier today. He says that the pitch is indeed playable despite the torrential rain falling here. And it will continue to fall throughout the game as well. Hopefully that will not cause any significant problems. There have been issues with the pitch here in the past, but some work has been done on the playing surface. And it has made all the difference. So Saarbrücken here preparing to take on Dresden leaders Dynamo Dresden here. It's a match day 13. And the league leaders really in a rich vein of form. Saarbrücken, well, one win in their last 6 as a result. 3 changes from the side, beaten 2-1 at Rot-Weiss Essen last weekend. Tim Schreiber comes in goal for Tim Patrock for the first time this season. Patrick Sontheimer and Marcel Gauss also come in to the midfield. 3 changes, 2 for Dresden from the side that won last time out. Complete change of players in the front 3. Panagiotis Vlachodimos comes in for the injured Tom Zimmerscheidt. He's out with a shoulder injury picked up last time out. His goal and 7 assists will be keenly missed. Jakob Lemmer and Stefan Kuchka also come in for Denis Borkowski and Manuel Schaffler, who both drop to the bench. And what will this Saarbrücken side managed to do here? 1 win in their last 6. There is certainly rumours of pressure on coach Rüdiger Geisel. He's even had the dreaded vote of confidence from the club chairman as well. So certainly pressure for the players, pressure for the coach. Whereas Dynamo Dresden really cruising at the top of the table at the moment. Marcus Anfang doing a great job as Dynamo look to go back up to the Bundesliga 2 this season. Just the 2 losses so far this campaign. In fact, they're not actually top as we come into this game. Jan Regensburg winners again yesterday, 2-1 at home to Preußen Munster. That puts them level on points, level on goal difference, and in fact ahead of Dynamo Dresden on goals scored. So any sort of positive result here for Dynamo, and they'll go back to the top of the table, where they have been at the end of every game day since match day 4. Good crowd in here tonight. Sorry, this afternoon. There is Tim Schreiber. Hasn't played in the Dresden so far this season. He did play in the cup though, in their win over Karlsruhe in the first round. By the way, the second round draw has now been made. Saarbrücken have the plum tie at home to Bayern Munich. Prices on the black market, the tickets to that game going absolutely through the roof. €300 for the normal ticket, VIP ticket, 2,500. Club are doing their best to stop the black market on those tickets, but it's not an easy job. And that game coming up here on the 1st of November. Or it'll be on Wednesday, All Saints Day, a bank holiday across lots of Europe. There is our referee, Dr. Arne Arnick, Daniel Ryle and Marco Scharf with the flags running the lines. Luca Schlosser will be looking after the technical areas. So we'll have to keep an eye on just how well the pitch stands up to the game. Looks pretty decent at the moment, actually. No real standing water anywhere. That would be the real nightmare for the players. May cut up a little bit as the game goes on, but we'll just have to live with that, I think. Now the pre-game huddles done and dusted. And Saarbrücken, after a strong start to the campaign, come into the game 15th in the table. Just 2 points and 2 places above the relegation places. If they're going to turn things around today, would be a good time to do that. They do have a game in hand over most of the other sides, though. Their game against Duisburg a couple of weeks ago was postponed due to international call-ups. During that game was supposed to happen during the international break. It's now been rescheduled for the 29th of November, and Saarbrücken get us underway then here at the Ludwigspark Stadion. Our hosts in blue and black, kicking from left to right here in the first half. Dynamo Dresden, one of the big favourites for promotion this season, all in yellow. And Saarbrücken on the attack early doors. Kai Brunker winning the head of the ball, hasn't been cleared yet. And a sprawling stop there from Stefan Gerlachner. And an early scare for Dynamo Dresden, less than 30 seconds into the game. Well, that will really help get the crowd going. The ball sliding around here. There's definitely some standing water on the edge of the area there, but there's an offside flag going up. Certainly from a distance the pitch looks good, but in places you can see the water splashing up as the ball bounces. Certainly on this near side. Dynamo struggling to clear the ball. Good play from Kai Brunker. Somewhat scuffed shot, just about clawed away by Gerlachner. Long ball there, and the bounce nearly catching out the defender. Well, it's really very wet indeed out there. You can see the splashes from the players' boots. I've got to say, back passes like that aren't going to be very popular with the goalkeepers in these conditions, I can tell you that much. Well, Dresden finding some space now over on this near side. Ki-Hyun Park. Couldn't quite get the better of Lucas Berder. Does look inconsistent, the playing surface. No, just for the moment, Dresden putting Saarbrücken under pressure. Yeah, sometimes the ball will bounce normally, sometimes it will just stop dead in a patch of water. The ball teased into the near post and put behind for the first corner of the match, which goes to Dynamo Dresden. Corner put into the near post, flicked on, back across goal, headed away by Brunker. Park with a shot from distance, but the whistle's already gone. Now, the referee won't have the easiest of jobs either in these conditions. Players sliding out of control, really through no fault of their own. May be an issue. They also have to keep a close eye on the playing conditions as well on the playing surface. There's a Saarbrücken player down. The hosts continuing to play here. And eventually the foul goes for the challenge on Amin Nafi. Strike partner at the moment for Kai Brunker. Nafi actually, just his second start of the season. His first start was last week, where he got the only Saarbrücken goal in that 2-1 loss at Rot-Weiss Essen. You can see the Saarbrücken fans bouncing away behind that goal. Marcel Gauss Looks like he might fancy this one. In fact, it's the right footer instead, headed away at the near post. Here is Gauss. Lofts the ball back in again as unmarked, just outside the 6-yard box. Well, the Dynamo marking not the tightest there. Dynamo losing the ball on their right hand side. Chance here for Saarbrücken on the transition. There's Bunker. Tackled fairly, says the referee. And eventually Luca Herrmann draws the foul from his opposite number, Marcel Gauss. I do wonder if this is really a day for short passing, or maybe the teams are adjusting their tactics to a slightly more direct style as the bounce just evades one. Park with the shot. Act clear. Nicely taken down though by Paul Will. And eventually the foul goes Saarbrücken's way. Kai Brunke getting very much involved in proceedings early doors here. A little bit too much on that free kick. Park clears that down the wing, and it'll be another Dynamo throw here. Good play from Park, and he saw the attempted pass just get held up in a patch of standing water. Telka back to Tim Schreiber. So making his Bundesliga, sorry, his Drieseliga debut for the season here today. Horrible conditions for goalkeepers. Oh, and another pass gets held up in the water. Definitely a soggy patch, sort of on midway on this near side, closest to the camera. I don't think it's going to get any better either as the rain continues to fall, but it's Saarbrücken now. Going down the left. Naifi twisting, turning, making space, putting a good ball in, but that's straight into the hands of Joel Xhaka. Bright start though for Saarbrücken. The other thing as well, difficult to change direction as well if you've got someone like Naifi twisting and turning like that. Now the ball in behind. Just about half cleared. Gauss eventually gets the ball to Sontheimer. Oh, the water splashing everywhere here. Another thing to watch out for in these sort of conditions, it's easy to pull a muscle. If you're taken by surprise by the ground. Other than that, though, the amount of sliding around does look like an awful lot of fun, doesn't it? There's the Dynamo away fans there in that top left corner of the screen as Jakob Lemmer prepares to loft this one into the area. It's gone straight into the hands of Schreiber. And that's well held. Counts this time, giving away the free kick. I think the game will be quite stop and start, to be honest. Players making mistakes, want to recover from those mistakes. Players slipping and falling. The fans don't seem to mind that. In fine voice. It's Park. It's a nice ball down the left flank. Yeah, I think probably better off with this passing just to keep the ball a little bit more airborne, perhaps. And that's been given away by Will. And now Saarbrücken breaking through Nathy. Nathy going over to the left, nice little back heel into space. And now the crossfield ball to this near side. Headed back across by Berda. Sivea to Berda again. Good ball into the area just over the head of Brunker. Demos putting the ball well down on one knee there in a puddle. And then out this time goes against Stefan Kuchka, the Dynamo captain, back in the starting lineup today. Had a bit of a knock during midweek, but fit enough to start again today. Looks like Marcel Gauss is going to take this one. It's quite central, not much angle to work with. Sontheimer peels off to this near side to offer the option of an angle. Gauss instead lofts it in there, straight into the hands of Stefan Deljaka. Regular Dynamo #1 for the last season and a half now. You can see just how difficult it can be to control the ball here. And that pass, but completely stuck. No foul, says the referee. See the uncertainty with some of this short passing on the ground. Not really knowing if the ball is going to stick or slide. Now the long ball forward. Brunker. A little nudge into the back of Lars Bunning. It doesn't take much contact to knock people over either in these conditions. You can see just how wet Bunning is now. I wonder if the players will be getting a fresh set of kit for the second half. If indeed there is a second half, the rain is still absolutely bucketing down here over on the French border. Now Kuchka picks up the ball over on that far side and wins inside a corner. The set piece is going to be very important, I think, in these conditions. It's a free-flowing football, not easy to come by. Nicholas Hauptmann going to swing this one in left-footed. Certainly a good idea to get it in towards the keeper. To the near post, flicked on, not quite cleared away. Bunning, his cross deflected and the shot came in from Flasher Demos. Deflected away. Certainly some areas of the pitch are definitely worse than others. Flasher Demos. I didn't really get any power into that one. Easy enough for Tim Schreiber to deal with. Flicked on by Berda. Dealt with at the back. There's Lars Bunning again. I wonder if the keeper's going to be slightly careful about coming too far out of goal, certainly after that Harry Kane wonder strike yesterday in the Bundesliga for Bayern Munich. England captain now with 2 hat-tricks already this season after his summer move to Bayern. Not even well, Saarbrücken player's gone down on the edge of the area there. Didn't look like there was any Dynamo player near him. Love to get a replay. It's Naifi. He went down, he stayed down as well. Honestly, let's have a look here. It's the ball there. Well, any contact, I think, would have been really quite minimal. Certainly that his timing of where he went down as well there, 90 feet, it looked like there was nobody near him. The referee was absolutely certain, immediately told him just to get up. Again, those sort of decisions not made any easier by the prevailing conditions either. Nicely brought down by Hauptmann. Splashes his way out now to this near side. Nice pass through of Demos. Hauptmann breaks into the area, gets the pass out to Hermann. That shot well blocked. And just for once there, well, Paul Wilt, I think, probably thought that ball was going to stop in a puddle and it just skipped on out of play. Here's another look at this. It's, well, possible contact on the foot, but surely not enough to go down like that. The referee, I think, probably getting that decision right. Home fans won't like to hear that, I'm sure. Rabihic plays the ball back, and now there's a bit of space here for Berder on this near side. Finds the run of Surveyor, and Surveyor's now bursts into the area. Surveyor couldn't quite take the ball with him. And again, another player being caught out by the treacherous surface here. And just there, the ball just didn't quite go with him. He ended up with the ball behind him and couldn't wrap his foot round it in time to get it across goal. Great approach play though. Rabihic maybe about to take this. The referee just calling a halt for a moment. Referee laying down the law. Rabihic lofts the ball into the edge of the area, flicked on. Absolute pinball there in the 6-yard box of Dresden. They somehow scrape the ball away. Another look at this one. It's good delivery in. Flicked on there from just near the penalty spot. Eventually splashed away. Long throw from Gauss. Headed away. Already have a repeat of that now. Farrow is competing with Kuchka. With the ball in the air there. And they're still tied together, competing for this one. And this time Kuchka puts it behind for a corner. The veteran forward getting some of his work done at the other end of the pitch. Rabihic again. Looking like he's going to be taking this one. He does as well. This time it's into the 6-yard box, punched away by Deljaka. And the whistle goes for a foul. A couple of the Saarbrücken players bumping into Deljaka as he tried to punch that one away. Flicked on by Kuchka. Demos dispossessed by Surveyor as the... well, was he dispossessed by Surveyor? Was he dispossessed by the pitch? he choose? Not sure Vlachodimos knows either. It certainly appears that the amount of standing water is visibly getting greater as this first half has gone on, which what in the 20th minute now. Certainly near the halfway line there. There's an awful lot of water standing up and proud from the surface. You see it there, just on the halfway line. Flicked on by Naifi. So, easy for Derjaka. Park. Don't think he was particularly happy to see that ball come skipping towards him from the goalkeeper. And so I'm not sure it's a day where you really want to be playing things out with the short passing from the back. All seems a bit risky. Park there with the attempted pass intercepted by the pitch. Long ball over the top. Vlachodimos won't get anywhere near that. Schreiber tips it down this near side. Ooh, long ball over the top here. This is going to work really well. Fantastic stop by Derjaka. Quickly off his line to close down the angle. And I mean Naifi. In the end, his shot, well, straight at the keeper. Vlachodimos gets past a couple of challenges. Went down very easily there. Too easy for the referee's liking. And Saarbrücken continue to come forward. Kasim Rabahic cuts inside, looks for options. Dives back round the outside again, and then the cross-come shot goes just wide of the upright. Here's a look at the chance. The long ball over the top just stopped in the water. Perfect for Naifi. Under normal circumstances, I think that would have been for the goalkeeper. Play in the conditions. Smart play there from Saarbrücken. Marcus Anfang looking slightly damp there on the in the technical area. Gauss puts the ball up and out of play, but again, attempted passes not reaching their intended destinations. It's a nice little flick though for Hauptmann, but then his pass stops in a puddle and the ball is flicked over the top here for Naifi again. In a foot race here against Lewald. He's managed to force a corner. Again, good play from Saarbrücken. Keeping it simple, balls over the top, will stop. If players forwards can then run onto it easily. Certainly it's the hosts in the ascendancy in this opening quarter of the game. Again, Sontheimer and Rabahic discussing who gets to take this. And it will be Sontheimer. Left-footed, goes deep, too deep. And Vlachodimos again. Tried to play the ball out. Ball gets stuck. The thing is, it's inconsistent. You're never quite sure if the ball's going to hit a puddle or a patch of grass. It might bounce, it might stick. I think we've had head contact there on Kuchka. He tried to battle for that ball in the air. You could hear the scream of anguish. Just an arm across there as the Saarbrücken player levered himself into the air. Jakob Lemmer going to play this one long into the area. Plenty of yellow shirts to aim at up there. Goes for the far post. Headed away. Picked up by Herman. Tries to go past Rabihich. Park caught out there. Again, that far side. The pitch very soggy over there. Claudia Kammerknecht. Now with the throw. Again, it just seems like the sensible thing is to just not let the ball bounce. Keep the ball in the air. And that'll be a corner for Dynamo, surely. Yes, it will. Had to be dealt with. In fact, no, the corner hasn't been given. It's gone to a goal kick there for Saarbrücken. There are the Dynamo fans keeping themselves warm. Always a fantastic atmosphere. They have copped a fine for some of the pyrotechnics during their East German derby against Auer. Back at the end of September that game was. The fine has just been announced. Oh, well, with the back pass again. Not something I think the goalkeepers will be wanting to see, if at all possible. Sensible play, just clearing the ball forwards, moving the game up the pitch for Dresden. Well, Sanfang certainly trying his best to make himself heard. Bit of confusion there. Hauptmann eventually gets hold of the ball now. It's a nice ball into the area, but Kuchka with the header straight at the goalkeeper. They've been on the back foot throughout most of this first half so far, Dynamo Dresden, but suddenly sparked into life there. Kuchka, 4 goals already this season. Started the season really well, then went through a bit of a dry spell. Scored a couple of weeks ago in their win over Ulm. Good game that one, 3-2. Against an Ulm side also in fine form this season. Although Ulm's run of form did come to a bit of a sticky stop yesterday. A bit of a shock 3-2 loss at home to Hallerscha, who even with that win are still down in 18th in the table. Certainly the bottom part of the table now starting to take a little bit of shape. With Duisburg certainly, despite the change of coach, still struggling down at the bottom, just a point behind Freiburg, who have also, after a reasonably bright start to their campaign, have really struggled in the Dresden Liga this season. Hallerscha as well have been down near the bottom the whole campaign. Waldorf Mannheim as well. Lost again 3-0 at Unterhaching on Friday night in our live game. Oh, Brunker with quite an obvious tug at the shirt there. Wasn't fooling anyone with that one. Clips long, flicked up rather than towards goal. Hauptmann trying to break onto that. Flasher Demos turns back, then swings the ball in, but there's not really a Dynamo player near that. Kuchka picks the ball up on that far side, almost misses his kick completely, trying to get the cross in. There's Naifi, comes forward but kept running, the ball didn't go with him. Shake of the head from Luca Herman. Dynamo midfielder. It's really not easy out there. Gauss clips the ball forward, headed away by Will. Werder in a bit of space on this near side, puts the ball in, but it's too much on that for Kai Brunker, and easy enough for Del Xhaka. Huntsman trying to thread that ball through, but there you can see the inconsistency. That one rolled through quite well. And then the throw out. Skip, stop. And Gauss has lost possession there. And it's not getting any easier, is it? As Surveyor picks up the ball in the centre circle. And again, he almost gets caught out. Werder now. Sontheimer. Oh, lovely play from Sontheimer. Lovely bit of skill to get past Flasher Demos. Now Surveyor. Surveyor drives down to the byline. It's dispossessed by Park. Flasher Demos now hooks the ball clear. Safety first. And Surveyor was in an offside position, didn't compete for that one on. The attempted pass from Will again, not using his senses there. Attempting a short pass along the ground that close to your own goal is a bit of a recipe for a disaster. Naifi is upset not to get the corner. Foul goes at Saarbrücken's way. And you can see how much the pitch is starting to cut up here. I tell you what, if this sort of weather continues, they're going to be hard pushed to get the pitch into shape for the visit of Bayern Munich on Wednesday night. Just 3 days from now. Keeper trying to find a reasonable patch of green to take this free kick. Goes long, straight to the edge of the area. There's a Saarbrücken player down. I think that's Naifi. Eventually gets up. Having been summarily ignored by the referee. Good play. The rabbit hitch there to force the corner from Claudio Kammerknecht. Gauss and Rabahich standing over the set piece. Will be Rabahich this time. Clipped into the near post, headed away by Kuchka. This ball's going to come straight back in here in a moment. Maybe the shot from the edge of the area. No. Not quite cleared it. Then the shot comes in and it's been floated wide. Well, 34 minutes in. Saarbrücken still by and large in the ascendancy. And the coaches will have some quite precise instructions for some of the players. Quite telling that certain players out there so far today have been struggling with the conditions more than others. Another corner goes Saarbrücken's way. Parker certainly haven't seen much of him in an attacking sense down that left-hand side of Dresden. He's been doing a lot of defending, though. And here come the instructions for some of the Saarbrücken players as well. From Rudiger Saar. Just getting a little telling off from the fourth official, Lukas Schlosser, about leaving the technical area. Rabihic with another corner. Good delivery again, not really been cleared yet. Saarbrücken, Rabihic with the shot, and he just slightly didn't get the radar right on that one. Big splash of water as he kicks that Rabihic. It does look like the rain may have slowed down a little bit. And certainly the ground staff are going to have an awful lot of work to do at half time. It's going to be quite intense. 10-15 minutes, the shot comes in from distance. That's straight at Diljaka from Naifi. He's been bright and industrious in this first half, the number 25. Nice little nutmeg there. Long ball with Kuchka beaten in the air. Surveyor now with the ball over the top, difficult to deal with for the defenders, but Levold gets a little bit of luck with the bounce there. Beautifully taken down by Hauptmann. Couldn't quite pick out Flasher Demos with the pass. A completely new, or fresh, shall we say, front three in this one for Dynamo. Ball over the top, and the flag hasn't gone down yet. It has gone up. And eventually it does. A shrug of the shoulders from the linesman. Surveyor looked round. I think he felt that he was offside for that one. Xhaka slightly miscues his clearance. The ball's been won high up the pitch there, but then Saarbrücken midfield bites back. Park, nice ball through to midfield, and an opportunity here for Flasher Demos, but he seemed to be tackled by the pitch. Tackled by the puddle anyway. And the ball goes over the top, looking for the run of Hauptmann, but slightly misjudged by the 27. Levold doing the gritty work there for Dresden at the back. This is the opportunity for Demos. The ball just stopped at the most inopportune moment. Lovely little clipped ball through. I think just as he was looking to pull the trigger, the ball stopped in one of those little puddles. Attempted long shot there. They've definitely all been looking at Harry Kane's goal from yesterday. The second of his three in an 8-0 win. Oh, and the ball's been lost here, and Flasher Demos again is close nearby. Scrambled behind for a Dresden corner. When you expect the ball to skip out of play, it just sticks in the water. The defender just watching how things developed as he literally slid his way off the pitch. And the ball well won by Naifi, but they're running in now into that soggy bit in midfield. It rather grinds to a halt there for Sontheimer. Well, he's not allowed to kick the ball between his feet like that. That's a foul every day. He wanted a free kick for a push, nothing given. Kind of free kick. Going to be a long one. Fed into the box. There's, what, 5-6 players in a line along the edge of the penalty area. Nobody near that delivery. Rabihic now plays his way back into trouble. The ball fed back into the area, half defended, then hacked clear. Park takes no chances. Kuchka beaten in the air. Felt he was given a push, but nothing given by the referee. It's a decent delivery though. 4 players up there, and the header lands with a plop in a puddle there, right in front of Tim Schreiber. It was a nicely weighted cross from Lars Bunning. Outman to Vlasha Demos. Outman's continued his run down the left-hand side, and he's in a lot of space here, the number 27. But upset with his delivery there from out wide. Again, seemed to be caught out by the pitch. Same for both teams, of course. With the heavy conditions, though, it will be, I think, probably quite tiring for a number of the players. It's Park with his back to goal. Normally, he'd probably have gone for a back pass there, but you just don't dare to do that in these conditions. It's Gauss now over on the left-hand side, faced with Kammerknecht. Nice ball inside, but this time the ball skips off the service rather than sticking. Just 3 and a bit minutes plus any stoppages to go before half-time. Boda tries to play a 1-2, but Paul Will comes across and deals with that one. And the ball did curve out of play before coming back in. Rabihic now in space on that left-hand side. Gauss trying to make a run to distract the defenders. The ball eventually, it comes in for Brunker, and he's so close there to the opener. Can't believe he missed it, I think. Well, that was a real scare for Dresden. Ball just took a deflection. Brunker, despite both Will and Park being in close attendance, there was just a little flick off the foot of Jakob Levold. Brunker just couldn't quite slide into place quickly enough. Will be a corner though. More defence to be done here for Dresden. 2 minutes before the break now. Rabihic again with the set-piece delivery. Not the best this time. Cut out at the near post. Again, Dresden under pressure here just before the half-time interval. Still goalless at the Ludwigspark Stadion Municipal Pool. Oh, good play. Lars Bunning took control of the situation. The keeper came off his line. But Bunning did exactly what needed to be done there. Good delivery. Keeper's gone down with a screen. Saarbrücken player goes down as well, but Meanwhile, the counter-attack is on for Dresden. Flash of Demos. Again, doesn't quite take into account the ball sticking in the water when trying to dribble. Schreiber. Long ball out from just outside the area. Took the best of passes there from Luca Hermann, putting Hanna connecting all sorts of pressure here. Again, desperately trying to avoid the back pass, and eventually does well to shepherd the ball out of play. And I think that's that now for the first half here at the Ludwigspark Stadion. Well, conditions have not made it easy for both sets of players, really. A lot of standing water, getting worse as well as the half has gone on. It's not been easy, but perhaps slightly surprisingly, it's the hosts who have been in a terrible run of form recently, who have very much held the upper hand here. They haven't quite broken the deadlock. The Saarbrücken, certainly the team on top here. And at half-time, it's Saarbrücken 0, Dynamo Dresden 0. And welcome back to the Ludwigspark Stadion here in Saarbrücken. It's 0-0 between the hosts and Dynamo Dresden at half-time here. The big story, the state of the pitch, the rain continuing to fall here in Saarbrücken. The good news is that it has eased off a bit and promises not to be quite such heavy rainfall for the rest of the match. You see, this rain is still falling. There's still plenty of standing water on the pitch as well, making conditions very difficult for both sets of players. Certainly the ground staff at half-time have had their work cut out. It'll be interesting to see how the pitch holds up in this second half. There was certainly a feeling that as the first half went on, it became more and more difficult for the players. The real problem being that sometimes the ball just sticks in a patch of water, other times it just skids on. So inconsistent conditions for the players to deal with. Both sides have found it very difficult really to put together any real sort of flow of play in the first half. There will be some tactical adjustments, I'm sure, and some wise words from the coaching staffs of both sides. One feature in the first half, there certainly hasn't been much in the way of passes back to the goalkeeper. That's far too risky, but some of the players maybe not playing to the conditions as well as they could be. Too many short passes, getting stuck in the water. Certainly from this angle at least, the pitch looking better than it did at the end of the first half. So
ja, Peter Müller ist zu uns gekommen, der Pressesprecher des 1. FC Saarbrücken. Peter, im Moment hat es mal gerade aufgehört zu regnen. Wie ist gerade der Stand der Dinge? Ich habe gehört, dass die Verantwortlichen bei den Schiedsrichtern in der Kabine sind.
Der Schiedsrichter hat angedeutet, dass er die Halbzeitpause verlängern will, um nochmal abzuwarten, ob der Platz sich vielleicht ein bisschen verbessert. Es gibt ja Stellen, wo eigentlich gar nichts mehr geht. Und nach der Pause wird er nochmal drüber laufen und dann mit den Verantwortlichen entscheiden, ob es weitergeht.
Jetzt hat es gerade mal nachgelassen, aber es regnet ja immer wieder auch richtig stark. Ist das realistisch, dass irgendwie der Platz jetzt nochmal kurz abtrocknet? Also ich kann es mir kaum vorstellen.
Ach, das muss man halt überprüfen. Also der Platz hat ja Drainage. Wenn es ein bisschen jetzt aufhört zu regnen, verbessert sich auf jeden Fall die Platzfläche.
Before the start of the second half, just to give the ground staff a bit more opportunity.
Ja, keinen Sinn darin, hier weiterzumachen.
Spielt es irgendeine Rolle, dass am Mittwoch hier das DFB-Pokalspiel gegen die Bayern stattfindet?
Nein, gar keine Rolle, weil wir sind ja im Hier und Jetzt. Beide Mannschaften sind ja da, haben eine Halbzeit gespielt und jetzt müssen wir einfach gucken, macht Sinn,
By the way, there's another game here in 3 days' time in the German Cup at home to Bayern Munich. The weather forecast for the next few days not looking great. I don't think this is looking particularly great either. Another pitch inspection from the referee there, Dr. Arning.
Gibt es irgendeine Deadline, wo man sagt, okay, die Halbzeit wird jetzt auf eine halbe Stunde gestreckt oder auf eine
another official pitch inspection going on here with the officials and representatives from both sides. Quite a bit of shrugging of shoulders going on there at the moment. No doubt, options are now being discussed. Will the game be delayed? Will the game be postponed? This is not looking like I think we're going to have any play coming up soon. Well, there's some pretty glum-looking faces over there. Fortunately, we don't have a microphone on the referee. I wouldn't be at all surprised if Dynamo were perhaps of the two sides more likely to press for a postponement here. They've certainly been struggling in the conditions against a side that they would probably normally expect to beat, certainly given recent form of both sides. Yeah, we see what the players are having to deal with out there. A bit of shaking of heads. I'm not sure if there's an agreement between the representatives from both Saarbrücken and Dynamo. Yes, much shrugging of shoulders going on here as we await official news of the decision. And the discussions continuing here at the moment. As I say, 3 days before the next game due to be played here. The weather forecast for the next few days, although the rain has, if not entirely stopped, it's much lighter than it was. The rain due to get heavier again later this evening. There's going to be heavy rain as well the next couple of days. I'm not quite sure what they're going to do about that. The game due to be played here on Wednesday. If the water doesn't have a chance to drain off. So they have done certain things to the playing surface here to treat what has been historically an issue with standing water in the past. They've done a thing called vertidraining, where you punch holes in the playing surface and fill them with sand, and that does an awful lot to help with drainage. And if it rains simply too much, there's not a lot you can do about it, and certainly the look on the referee's face here is, I wouldn't say particularly encouraging. So the official line at the moment is the pitch inspection is ongoing. We await an official decision as to whether the game will continue or not very soon. The referee just making sure to check all the parts of the pitch. You can't have part of the pitch playable and then part of it not. But I would say that certainly the look on Dr. Arning's face is not entirely encouraging. The team of officials will check out the whole playing surface, checking it out for safety and things like that, and then they will eventually discuss things fully and come up with
Ja, so schnell geht's manchmal im Leben. Ne? Normalerweise brauche ich eine Woche, bis wir uns wieder sehen. Jetzt
we have all the representatives from Saarbrücken as we still await the official line from the DFB and the officials. Well, the pitch inspection appears to be done and dusted. Now we just wait for the decision. Certainly, let's say, not an encouraging sign at the moment. So apologies for this delay in the game. It's still 0-0 at half-time here between Saarbrücken and Dynamo Dresden. A big game for both sides. Saarbrücken coming into the game with just 1 win in 6. They've been plummeting down the table after a bright start to the campaign. Coach Rudi Gazelle certainly under pressure in his position as coach that he took over just over a year ago, with the team struggling at a similar time of the season last year. The one good thing there that the fans are certainly still in situ. The advantage as well that the stands here well designed, so there's cover for all the fans. Having some sort of public announcement there. Unfortunately, we don't have a particularly good audio on that. Well, there's certainly some whistles. I'm just wondering if we're going to have a maybe a half-hour delay to help the pitch dry out a bit. Something along those lines, maybe. Of course, that's all speculation at this moment. Whistles of impatience from some of the fans who are definitely not going anywhere just yet. So still no real clarity as to whether the game will be continued. There's an official delay now because of the weather conditions. They want to give the pitch as much time as possible to recover. Just how long that delay will be, though, we currently don't have full information on that.
Ganz frisch aus der Kabine innerhalb der nächsten 10 Minuten.
But the fans going nowhere, so it's certainly not been officially called off just yet. And looks like the rain has started to fall again as well. That's not going to help the pitch in any way, shape or form. And that could well be the real decision maker here. You can see one of our host broadcasters there just testing the edge of the playing surface there. I see he's not daring to actually venture out onto the pitch itself, just on the edge there where there is a bit more standing, that'll be by design for the bit more standing water on the edges of the pitch. There'll be a slight camber on the playing surface to help drain the main playing surface. And the part of the pitch he's looking at there seems to have significantly more water on it than the actual game surface itself. So patience from all the fans. Certainly some of the substitutes just still warming up out there, just in case they're needed when and if the second half gets underway. Still some good humour in the crowd. Not everyone, it would appear, lucky enough to have a covered seat. Plenty of ponchos there for the unlucky fans. And for Dynamo, well, I mean, it's quite a long trip over here for Saarbrücken on basically the exact opposite end of Germany. They're doing well to keep their humour after a long trip. For a relatively early kickoff, although everyone did get that extra hour thanks to the clocks moving back last night. And so we still have a delay, and now the rain definitely looks like it's getting stronger again. And that may well be what pushes this game towards ultimately being postponed. But maybe they attempt to kick off the second half to see just exactly what the conditions are like. Wouldn't be at all surprised to see second half kicked off, and then maybe 5 minutes in there could be an abandonment. So the latest information that's just come into my ears here is that there will be a final decision made as to whether to continue the game or not in the next 10 minutes or so. So please bear with us while we wait for that decision. I say with the rain starting to fall heavier again now, that is not going to help, I wouldn't have thought. Still, everyone sitting tight and waiting for the official line from the DFB. While we're waiting, maybe we can just go through some of the results already from this weekend in the German Dresden. It kicked off on Friday night with Unterhaching 3-0 winners at home to struggling Waldorf Mannheim, who are stuck now in the bottom four. Unterhaching moving back into the middle of the table there after a bit of a wobble of form for themselves. The big shock though on Saturday afternoon, Ulm beaten 3-2 at home by struggling Hallische. Those 3 points mean Hallische still in the bottom four in the relegation places, but Ulm losing a little bit of pace there at the top of the table. They're still third in the table though, due to their fantastic recent run of form, by the way. Also on Saturday, Victoria Cologne 2-1 winners at home to 1860 Munich, whose bright start to the season rather has petered out so far. They're another side perhaps not hitting the heights that would have been expected at the start of the campaign. They came into the season arguably as one of the favoured teams for promotion, but they're way off the pace at the moment, Munich, on 17 points from 13 games. Meanwhile, MSV Duisburg, their struggles continue under their new coach. 2-1 losers at home to Rot-Weiss Essen, who have shot up the table in recent weeks with a string of victories, including at home to Saarbrücken last weekend. Meanwhile, Borussia Dortmund's fine run of form has come to a bit of a halt. 2-1 losers at home to Sandhausen, whose change of coach appears to have helped the side turn a corner. They're now back up to 6th in the table after their 2-1 win in Dortmund. Arminia Bielefeld, another side very much on the rampage now. 3 consecutive victories for Die Blauen. 4-0 at home to Ingolstadt, who are one of the more inconsistent sides, shall we say, in the Dresden this season. Is likely to win 4-0 as to lose 4-0, it would appear. Plenty of goals in those games, though. And Jan Regensburg, currently, as things stand, top of the table after a 2-1 win at home to Preußen Münster. That means at the moment in the Dresden table, Jan Regensburg lead the way on 28 points. Dynamo Dresden, with this game not included, also on 28 points with the same goal difference. Jan Regensburg currently top due to an extra goal scored. Ulm third in the table, but 5 points behind the leading two. And it could be more than that depending on what happens in this game for Dynamo Dresden. Rot-Weiss Essen now up to fourth in the table, 1 point ahead of Victoria Cologne. Sandhausen just in behind on sixth, the same points as Borussia Dortmund reserves. With Unterhaching eighth, Arminia Bielefeld, who were down in the relegation places just a couple of weeks ago, now up to ninth in the table after those 3 consecutive victories, just ahead of Erzgebirge Aue on goal difference. Ingolstadt 1860, Preußen Munster, Werl, then going down to Saarbrücken, today's hosts, in 15th. Lübeck, who will be away to Werl in the later kick-off this afternoon in the Dresden. And then Freiburg, who will host Erzgebirge Aue in the evening kick-off later this afternoon. Currently just in one place off the bottom, 1 point ahead of Duisburg. Both those sides really starting to lose contact with the sides ahead of them in the table. Of course, the conditions here today and the prevailing forecast as well for the next few days could have a real bearing on also the second round of the DFB Pokal, the German Cup, which is due to happen on Wednesday night. As Saarbrücken due to host the mighty Bayern Munich, who have started their Bundesliga season like a train, thanks to the goals of England captain Harry Kane, their big summer signing. Scored a hat-trick yesterday, including a fantastic chip over the keeper from the halfway line. Apparently he was saying it's the first time he's done that in his career. Seen the referee and his assistants come out for another look at the conditions. A rather glum visage there for Dr. Arning. Maybe gives us a clue as to what the official decision will be. Hopefully in the next few minutes. We can see now the rain, in fact, getting harder and harder. And really not giving the pitch much of a chance to improve, which was the official reason for delaying the start of the second half. And I have a horrible feeling this game is going to be postponed. Things that will be very much on the mind of the DFB officials here is, the risk of injuries as well. Will any sort of delay improve the conditions available for the players? As one of the Saarbrücken staff squelches his way on and off the pitch to collect an errant ball. So obviously the safety of the players will be of paramount importance to both sets of coaches, both sets of fans as well. And while they're waiting, they're certainly finding ways to keep themselves warm. Not seeing much in the way of smiles, are we? On the officials and staff around the pitch. They're still goalless at half-time. Saarbrücken with the lion's share, I think, of the well, not real half chances, shall we call them, in the first half. Neither side really coming to terms with the pitch. Very difficult. The ball skipping on sometimes. A lot of the time, just getting stuck in the water. Dribbling has been very difficult for the players. You try running along with the ball stops, you carry on, and you look a bit foolish, really. Still, optimism abounds before we get any sort of official decision, as the rain continues to teem down here in the far west of the country. Certainly it does appear in the last 5 minutes or so, conditions getting worse, not better. I wonder actually if they might have been better off just kicking off at a normal time and trying to get as much of the game done before this rain started to come down. I wonder if someone in the DFB has been having a look at the weather satellite to see what the incoming rain is going to be like. Maybe still await a decision here at the Ludwigspark Stadion as to whether this game can continue into the second half or not. Lots of players sliding around in the water, which it looks like a lot of fun actually, but it's not good for the players. Certainly muscle injuries, very easy to come by if you lose your footing, stretch in a weird way, or trying to just adjust to a funny bounce from the ball or a non-bounce from the ball, as we had quite a lot in that first half. Well, the fans still singing as we get closer and closer to an official decision from the referee.
So Markus, ich bin jetzt mal ins Trockene gegangen und vielleicht können wir das...
Still waiting for the official announcement from the DFB. Well, surely now, with the rain continuing to fall, it's going to be very difficult to get this game back underway with the pitch in that sort of condition. So still waiting now. Say, but 3 days' time they have that cup game against Bayern Munich. Some of the tickets, some of the resales of the tickets for that game so far, up to €300 for a normal ticket, which for example today's game, a Dresden Liga match, would be maybe €12, €15, depending on which team they're playing. Going for €300 on the black market. VIP tickets, €2,500 for their big day against Bayern Munich, but it's hard to see. If it continues to rain like this for the next few days, it's difficult to see how even that game will be able to get underway. Unfortunately, next weekend the game coming up for them is away at Sandhausen, who I believe do not have such problems with the pitch. We continue to wait here in the rain then. Certainly, as far as Rüdiger Zeil, the Saarbrücken coach, is concerned, not ideal conditions for him to try and get his team back in winning ways. So he has been under a lot of pressure after a poor run of form. 1 win in the last 6, plus a postponed game as well. Getting to the point where he really almost needs a win to keep his job here. Postponement, I suppose, here would be a stay of execution, shall we say. And still nobody leaving. Everyone waiting patiently for the official announcement. It's not entirely full today, but a very decent crowd, a full crowd here, 16,000. That game against Bayern Munich, the club reckons they had over 100,000 applications for a ticket to that game. That's why those black market resales are going at such inflated prices. The club attempting to take action against those who've been buying tickets specifically just to sell them on the black market. Never an easy job. Some fans with their ponchos, others with umbrellas. Fortunately, it's not too windy, so it's not quite so difficult to keep dry if you have the right equipment with you. I wonder if that little guy's going to remember this game when he gets older. Certainly the standing water there in the goal mouth as well will be a particular concern, I think, for the officials. Can't help thinking with the pitch as it is that the game may well be decided by a funny bounce of the ball. A ball that sticks in the water, creating the opportunity, or one that skips through and catches everyone by surprise. You don't really want to see a game decided like that. Hopefully for the other games due to go on in the Dresden Liga today, there'll be a slightly easier conditions for everyone. At 4:30 this afternoon, SC Verl take on VfB Lübeck. Two teams flirting with the relegation places. Verl, though, certainly an entertaining team, the top scorers in the division. Also got one of the most porous defences as well. And then the late kickoff, struggling Freiburg right down near the bottom of the table, just 1 point ahead of rock bottom Duisburg. Will be at home to Erzgebirge Aue. Who could, as things stand at least, they could move up to fourth in the table with a win there. With Aue, one of the sides that definitely, with the way they started the season at least, looking perhaps to go back up to the Bundesliga 2 this season. Though, as things stand at the moment, Jan Regensburg and Dynamo Dresden are the two strong favourites for that. With the likes of Ulm and Rot-Weiss Essen sort of tucking in just behind, but continuing to lose ground in the grand scheme of things. Really, certainly everything we can see from the pictures from the ground is that it surely going to be pointing towards a postponement of the match. We still haven't had our official decision, but some of the fans, I think, making the decision for themselves here, starting to pack away the flags ready for the trip home to Dresden. And I think that's the head groundsman there with another shrug of the shoulders. Another representative from the club talking to the fans now over the PA. The players waiting patiently, the fans waiting patiently as well. Now, this looks like there's been some sort of official decision made here now. It looks like the players now going over to thank the fans for their travel and suffering in the conditions just as much as they have throughout the day, or throughout the game so far. And this certainly, we still haven't had an official word yet, but this does not look like sets of players who are about to get the game back underway. One thing that really does
Ja, Ralf, gerade ist es offiziell
German
verkündet
football apart
worden, was wir jetzt schon
from
spekuliert haben.
from a lot of other leagues around the world, is the connection between the players and the fans. There's always acknowledgement of the support from the players. It's also something that some German coaches that have travelled abroad then bring that culture with them. You think of maybe like Jurgen Klopp at Liverpool, who has really ignited a connection between the team and the fans. Just hearing now, the game has indeed been suspended. There'll be no more play today. You can see the conditions there underfoot, pretty treacherous, even with football boots on. The extra grip that your cleats give you, not enough in these conditions. The players are slipping and sliding out of control. That then brings the safety of the players into question, and that is why the game has indeed now been suspended due to the prevailing weather conditions, and with no prospect of the rain letting up anytime soon. If anything, it's only got heavier since the half-time break. The playing surface simply not getting the opportunity to recover. So apologies from the DFB, apologies from all of us here as well, that thank you for bearing with us during this delay. Unfortunately, play simply unable to continue at the Ludwigspark Stadion, and the game has been abandoned with the scores at Saarbrücken 0, Dynamo Dresden 0 at half-time. The game will now have to be replayed at a later date this season. So with that, I'm afraid we have to say goodbye for now. Auf Wiedersehen, and we'll see you next weekend for more live action from the German Dresden.